Hello and welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd and you are watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got some news for you. I want to talk a little bit today about World War III. Okay? Looks like we've got some international experts at the Foreign Strategy Conference in central London. This was just yesterday, actually. And several of the experts there were issuing warnings claiming that the war in Ukraine may be the starting point of World War III. And I've been talking about this a lot as well. I've been telling all of you this for quite a while now that I believe that the Ukraine and Russia war is the most important war that is happening over there. Yes, we have things going on in the Middle East, but I believe that the attention is being diverted away from Ukraine for some reason, but the real war that's happening is the one in Ukraine, and it's very vital for both sides to win that conflict, for Russia to win and then for the West to win. It's very vital for each side to win. And I've just been talking about this for so long, and now we've got some information coming out here. I want to go over this with you guys, where we've got several international experts talking about this and letting people know at this conference that this is the beginning of World War III, and it has already begun. And they're saying there's no chance of peace for decades. So let's go over this here. World War III has already begun. A warning issued, no chance of peace for decades. In a stark assessment of the global security landscape, experts at the Foreign Strategy Conference in central London today issued a chilling warning, claiming that the war in Ukraine may signify the start of World War III, with no prospect of peace for decades. In a sobering gathering of international experts at the Foreign Strategy Conference on UK and global security, scenario after the war between Russia and Ukraine in central London today, dire warnings echoed through the halls as scholars and veterans dissected the complexities of the ongoing conflict. Among the attendees was Marina Litvinenko, wife of Alexander Litvinenko, a British naturalized Russian defector and former officer of the Russian Federal Security Service, who, as a prominent critic of Russian President Vladimir Putin, advised British intelligence and coined the term mafia state. The atmosphere was charged with a sense of urgency as renowned figures such as Taras Kuzio, Alexander Osovtsov, and Vladimir Sokor delivered grave assessments of the current geopolitical landscape. Their insights suggested that the war in Ukraine is not merely a regional dispute, but a harbinger of a much broader global conflict, one that has, according to some, already initiated the ominous specter of World War III. Yes, I mean, obviously everybody knows that the war in Ukraine is a proxy war for the West. The West is using Ukraine to fight Russia. We are already at war with Russia. We're just using Ukraine to do that. And we'll say things like, we're completely complying with international law. All we're doing is just supporting them and giving them weapons to fight and defend themselves. But no, in reality, what's really happening here, this is the West fighting Russia. Okay, that is plain and simple. That's what's going on here. A chilling narrative unfolded during the conference, which painted a picture of a world on the precipice where peace may remain elusive for decades to come. Taras Kuzio, professor of political science at the National University of Kiev Mohyla Academy, started by addressing the role of external actors in prolonging the conflict. He emphasized the impact of President Biden's policy on military aid to Ukraine. He said, war would have been over if Biden didn't push for his drip policy on military aid to Ukraine, same as Macron. Kuzio drew attention to the stark differences in the approaches of various nations, pointing out that the UK openly supports the defeat of Russia. This is not just a war about Ukraine. The foundation of this war is that Ukraine doesn't exist, Kuzio claimed, urging the international community to revisit Putin's 2007 Munich speech, which was largely ignored. I'm assuming this is because they're stating here that this is not about Ukraine, that Ukraine doesn't really exist, again, because this is the West controlling Ukraine to fight Russia. Ukraine would have been demolished by now if we weren't helping them. They would have been gone. But because we're supplying them weapons, they're able to stay in this fight. He characterized Russia as a schizo-fascist state, accusing Putin of harboring grand ambitions to enter Russia's history following Stalin's footsteps. Kuzio's alarming statement continued, claiming that Russia and Iran share the goal of eradicating Ukraine and Israel from the face of the earth. He added that these countries perceive themselves to be at war, while Western governments, particularly the Biden administration, are seemingly oblivious. For them, World War III has already begun. That's what Kuzio had said here. World War III has already begun. It's already started. Alexander Osovstov, veteran of Russian politics, offered a broader perspective on the conflict, emphasizing the interconnected nature of the ongoing war. It's one war, not two different wars, two pieces of one war of one bloc, the bloc of aggressive dictatorships, Russia, Iran, and their proxies. Osovstov identified China as the current leader of this bloc, and stressed the need for a united front from democratic countries worldwide. The main aim today is to destroy Russia's military forces, not to achieve peace, Osovstov claimed, expressing skepticism about the possibility of political change in Russia. He labeled the Russian state as inherently destructive and suggested that the global community's duty is to oppose this bloc of aggressive dictatorships. Vladimir Sokor, a Romanian-American political analyst, focused on the likely outcome of the conflict, predicting the de facto partition of Ukraine. He warned that such an outcome would not lead to compromise, but rather to a total victory for Russia against the West. Sokor stressed that there would be no clear line between the state of war and peace, asserting that hostility may subside but will never end, drawing comparisons to the current status quo of South Korea against North Korean aggression. So, where he says here that there's no clear line between the state of war and peace, asserting that hostilities may subside but will never end. I just saw an article that came out today that Zelensky is basically taunting Trump that if he gets back in office and saying, hey, come on over here and try to end the war in Ukraine, because apparently Trump is so confident that when he gets back into office, he's going to put an end to this war. He stated within the first 24 hours, he'll put an end to this war. He knows exactly what to say to Zelensky, exactly what to say to Putin, and this war will be done and over with. What if that's not the case? What if he can't put an end to this in 24 hours? Just like I said here, asserting that hostility may subside but will never end. That Zelensky was actually saying that, we could freeze this war in Ukraine, but ultimately Russia will come back and attack again at some point. They've done this before, and this war needs to happen, and there needs to be a decisive winner, and this decisive winner needs to be decided more likely by the end of this year. If it does carry on into next year, I can't see it going on much longer, but who knows? There will be no state of peace. Ukraine will be granted consolation prizes. The war will continue without end, Sokor said. He highlighted the impracticality of offering Ukraine fast-track integration into Europe after the war, as the war in Ukraine is multidimensional and likely to persist even after a ceasefire. So there you go. Even if they try to call a ceasefire or freeze the war, as many people have been talking about, that is likely not to happen. We're more likely to just see this thing continue. And like I keep saying, we're going to see a decisive winner at some point. That's why we're seeing so much happening over there. We're seeing Ukraine beefing up their military, Russia beefing up their military. Both of them have equally, I think, conscripted at least 500,000 more troops to fight this war. We are most likely going to see a major escalation of an offensive coming from Russia very soon, more likely by summer. I'm predicting, but we'll have to see about that. But again, these experts are warning of World War III to come, and it's very likely that it could be right around the corner. And it's not just with Ukraine and Russia. There's a lot of potential with North Korea right now. Okay, North Korea they just tested a nuke. I just put out a video recently that they that they tested an underwater nuclear drone. Okay, there's so many different things going on here, so many countries starting to get involved in what's happening here, and we are right around the corner of potential World War III. So I hope you guys got something out of this, because it is a dire warning, and this is not to scare you, not to fear monger, make you worried or think that tomorrow's going to be the last day on Earth. No, it's not that at all. It's to help you stay informed, stay up to date on what's happening with some of this stuff, because there's a lot of these things that are just kind of getting swept under the rug. Like this article, for example, there's not a lot of major media outlets covering this, but it is something that happened. These experts were discussing this, and they are issuing these dire warnings to let people know that we're right around the corner from World War III, and will it be a nuclear exchange event like that? I'm not sure. Will it be more conventional? I think it'll be probably a mixture of both, but nuclear exchange would be the very end of it, in my opinion. That'd be the last thing we would see. So, excuse me. Let me know what you think. Go ahead and comment down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. YouTube will notify you, all that good stuff. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you all in the next one. Take care, and God bless.